Hi everyone, welcome to our PT Plus online lessons. Now the main topic for today's lesson is listening fill in the blanks, where we will be introducing this question type together with some of the key information that you absolutely must know in order to be performing at your best for fill in the blanks. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Now, firstly, in the listening section of your exam, take note that it is the last part of your exam. And just before listening, which is after the reading section, you'll have an option to take a scheduled break for 10 minutes. Now, this depends on the person. Most of our students will choose to take this break simply because the listening section requires a very high focus. Like some of the texts or some of the audios can be quite fast. You want to be, at your best when it comes to your attention. So if it's going to help to take this break, then make sure you raise your hand and take that, but do make sure to come back before the 10 minutes and get ready to start your listening section. Now, even though the total time for your listening section is 45 to 57 minutes, actually within your listening section, it's also broken into two parts. So as you can see here, okay, you've got the first part where you are going to be facing the summarized spoken text question type. And this is the first part because actually each SST, summarized spoken text question, is individually timed. So you get 10 minutes for each SST. Now after SST, then you'll have section 2, which are the remaining 7 question types. And fill in the blanks is in that second spot, just after multiple choice, choose multiple answers. Okay, and now the thing about this section is that instead of each question having its own timer, the whole section is timed. It has one timer for the whole section, which means that your time management is extremely important in this section, okay, whether it is on MCQs or fill in the blanks and so forth, because what you do want to make sure of is that you're spending more of your time in the exam on the questions that are worth more and that are going to make a bigger difference to your marks. So these questions are the fill in the blanks over here. Okay, and also highlight incorrect words and write from dictation. And you'll notice that highlight incorrect words and write from dictation are at the bottom, they're at the end. So if you're spending way too much time on the question types that are worth less, okay, for example, multiple choice, or you're spending too much time on highlight correct summary, then that's going to affect your ability at the end, okay? So what you do want to make sure of is manage your time well. And now in terms of fill in the blanks, okay, it's going to be over here in the second. It's going to be the second question you face within this part over here. So now let's have a look at how much fill in the blanks is worth in terms of its scores, okay? So each fill in the blanks question could be worth about 4 to 5 marks, just depending on how many blanks there are, and each blank is worth 1 mark. Okay, this is again just depending on the question itself. And the number of fill in the blank questions that you'll face is about 2 to 3, just depending on how many the machine randomly generates at the start of the exam. Okay, so in terms of the total marks that fill in the blanks is going to contribute would be about 10 to 12 marks roughly. All right. Now, as you can see that in comparison to the entire fill in the blanks section, it is one of the top 4 in terms of weight, in terms of contributing total marks. Okay. So therefore, let's look at its rank of importance, right? Now, this one over here is it's one of the, definitely, again, top 4 question types. And the main reason for that is because these 10 to 12 marks that fill in the blanks contribute not only go into your listening scores, okay, because obviously it is a listening question type, so it will contribute to listening, but also because you're going to need to listen and write and fill in that blank, your writing. So therefore, it's actually going to contribute to your writing scores too, all right? And it is not a small portion, it is quite a big, it's 10% of your writing score, roughly, it's going to come from fill in the blanks, all right? So it is quite a very significant, it's the top 4 listening question types, and it will affect your writing as well. Now, keep in mind that these percentages are just like a rough estimation. Okay, they're not exact, and the main reason for that is because, you know, the number of questions generated in the exam are different as well. So there's no exact proportion, but it's just to give you an idea of their importance and their weight and how much they contribute to different areas. Okay. Now, keep in mind that even though, you know, in listening itself, it's not just the listening question types that add to your listening score in the end. Okay, your speaking question types will affect your listening scores too. Okay, and especially repeat sentence and retell lecture. So it's still also very important to make sure that you are practicing and that you're working hard in your speaking section, because that will very much affect your listening scores too. Now, many of our students are very strong in listening and they do extremely well there. But at the end of the day, if you're not also working hard in your speaking and pulling that up, it will also affect your listening scores up to 30%. Okay, so definitely this is about how you manage your time and where you're putting in your efforts into. Okay, so now back to fill in the blanks. Let's have a look at the official question type introduction for fill in the blanks first.
Fill in the blanks. For this item type, you see a transcript of the audio recording. However, some words are missing. Restore the transcript by typing in the missing words.
The Coalition has not matched what is Labour's most important innovation promise. That is to bring together responsibilities for innovation, industry, science and research under one single federal minister.
You may prefer to make notes while you are listening and fill in the blanks at the end.
Okay, so as you saw, this is what the interface during the exam would roughly look like, and there are a few things I'd like to emphasize here. Now, firstly, at the top, you'll be able to see the question number that you're on, so you'll be able to keep track. And also a very important thing that you always must have your eyes on and pay attention to, especially in the listening section, is the timer. Remember that the entire section is timed as a whole, okay, apart from SST at the start. Okay, so make sure that you're always managing your time. And we'll also be talking about the time management here later. Now, firstly, the audio, you'll actually have 7 seconds of preparation time first. So make sure you learn how and watch our videos and learn how to use that preparation time. Okay, and we'll talk about that a bit later. And basically, the audio will play automatically after that 7 seconds. All right. Now, usually the average marks are about 4 to 5, but you could get maybe just 3 blanks in a fill in the blank, or all the way up to about 7 blanks. Usually you see about 4 to 5, but it could be 3 to 7. Okay, and now in terms of your time recommended 10 to 15 seconds over here. Now what this means is that it doesn't include the audio time. Okay, so the audio time goes, and you might be choosing to type directly in the box, or for some of you who are not too comfortable with typing quickly in case you can't keep up, then you might be handwriting your notes. So after you're handwriting each of the blanks, okay, then to fill in those blanks itself, you're going to have that 10 to 15 seconds. All right, so that's the time for you to fill in the blanks itself. All right, and now in terms of writing, when you're filling that in, now keep in mind that you only have that one chance to listen to it. So if you miss out on it completely, it's gone forever. Okay, so again, stress, if you're not comfortable with typing, then stick to the writing itself. You will have that time to fill in the blank afterwards as well, and it'll still be perfectly fine in terms of your overall time management. Okay, now when you're filling in the blank itself, these are the text boxes over here. Okay, your writing, remember, it's also assessed. So do make sure you have it when you're filling that in too. Afterwards, check your spelling and also use your grammar skills to help you as well. Check the surroundings around that box, see if the grammar itself fits there too. Now remember, you only have that recommended time, okay, and stick to that as well for each blank. Don't think about it too long or overly check it. Of course, make sure you check it, but don't spend over amounts of time on it, because you do need to keep managing your time and leaving time for the later question types, and there are some very important ones later on as well. Okay, so make sure once you're done, check and click next and move to the next question. Okay, all right, so that's it for this lesson, and I'll see you again next time on PT Plus.